Okay, so ever since Me Make Monster launched a couple days ago, we've had tons of phone calls, emails, instant messages, letters asking us how to make certain monsters. So we're going to go through one of them today, and it's not, I'm going to make this clear, it's not Frankenstein's monster because that's a trademark character by the Shelley estate. Mary Shelley wrote the book earlier in the last century or something. Nobody ever read it, but there was a movie. And we don't want it to look too much like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a monster that might make some people think of Frankenstein's monster, but we'll just call it, I'm going to name it right here, we're going to call it The Creature. Get it? It's just like generic The Creature. So what we're going to do, we start out, every time you load up MeMakeMonster.com, you get a random monster. Random means every part is different, the color is different, the skin is different. So right now we have this guy that came up. He looks kind of like a silly half devil alien tentacle arm with the devil tail thing. That's a cool place to start, but we're going to wipe it all out and start over again. So here we go. We can start anywhere we want to because any part of Me Make Monster can be changed at any time. That's why it's not like one of those Elf Yourself or Mad Men Yourself. Not that they're bad, but you know, in those things, if you ever tried them, you have to pick a head and you make the head and then you put the hair on and on the next screen and then you have to put the nose in place, and then what if the nose didn't go with the head? Okay, that doesn't work out. So we let you change everything at once, and what we're going to change first is the head. And look right there. Right there you have a head that might make you think of Frankenstein's monster. We went to the select button. You can do the left or the right one here, and but it's the creature's head. Now, I like it already. I think we need a dark green, so we're going to go to the color bar and click the dark green right here. And we have, so it looks kind of like that same guy we started with, but with a different shaped head, and he's green now. I'm just going to go down the line, people. I'm going to pick some brows, eyebrows. We call them brows for short here at Me Make Monster. We're going to pick, yep, we're going to pick these brows. They're kind of straight across. They make you think of the creature, you know, like that guy who might have been made from undead body parts or something like that. And I'm going to make them bigger with the plus button. So you got the plus and the minus. So that's bigger and smaller. Some of you little kids might say littler. That's cute. Now we're going to move it down too. I want the eyebrows to look a little droopy. You know, and the same thing with the eyes. We're going to pick not the alien eyes, that would be silly. And these are the kind of like roll your eyes if somebody says something you don't like eyes. But we're going to go to the, oh, and that was blank right there. We're going to go to the, yes, the eyes that are closed. They're just two squinty eyes like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And we're going to make them a little bigger. I'm going to move them up so that the eyebrows are kind of on top of them. Nice. I think it's starting to look like that creature we're trying to make already. I'm going to go to the nose next. And I'm going to pick not the wolf nose and not that scrunched up. And there's no nose at all, which would be kind of cute and funny. But I want, not the upturned piggy kind of nose. I mean, that kind of works, doesn't it? But I think I want the traditional, like kind of broad creature nose. I'm going to shrink it down a little with the minus key and move it down, right? And we're getting there, aren't we? And for the mouth, you know, Frankenstein's monster, not that this is that, but Frankenstein's monster has a pretty straightforward mouth. And we're going to go for, yep, it's just like the lips are just shut, like he's like, I don't know what's going on. And then we're going to shrink it on down and move it down with the up and down arrows. Down would be the down arrow. Okay, so it looks like we got the head okay, except for we skipped one thing, didn't we? The ears. Right now they're horns. Yes, horns count as ears in MeMakeMonster.com. So do, well, that's what we want, isn't it? The bolts on the side of the head, because our creature, see here, creature? Our creature was, you know, put together in a haphazard manner. He's got the clamps on his head. He's got a little scar here, you might notice. And he's got these bolts on the side of his head that count as ears. So we're going to increase them so they're not quite touching the sides of the eyebrows and move them. Whoa, wrong thing right there. You can just fix that up. I moved the eyes by accident. No harm, no foul. We're going to move the ears up. Look at that. And maybe make them, yeah, a little bit bigger so they go toward the outside. Wow, what a Frankensteinian inspired but not copyright infringing monster we've made. All right. Now we got the head. I'd say we have the head down, and I even think the body's down. Now we can turn the clothes off with this X for a second. Woohoo! Look at that. Kind of freaky, right? But I think we actually have what is the kind of body right here that we like to have with the creature. But what we don't have is the arms and the legs. And let's get rid of that tail right now. The tail is an extra, so I'm just going to eliminate that. and that's wings, and there's nothing right there. You just keep going through with these parts, and most of them have a blank, and you can go there. So now we're getting there, right? We have a pretty decent creature, but his legs are so skinny they would never hold up his head and body. That's why it's not real. So we're going to pick a new set of legs. Woohoo! That's kind of silly, right? That's like the alien. It looks like a dress, but it's like alien, like encephalopod type legs. We're gonna move on, and that's like the creature from the muck, I call it. You know, to also not get in trouble. His legs, and that is the more traditional creature legs. I'm gonna make them a little bigger so they fit. Move them down a tiny bit. You know how to do it now. You've been watching, right? And now we have strong legs. And what do we need to fix? The arms. Again, that's the muck creature. And there we have some pretty strong creature arms. I'm going to make them bigger to make them look like, you know, hulking kind of. And maybe move them up. You know, you move the arms up, it's like a shoulder roll. It's kind of neat. And, well, you know what is good if you're made from undead body parts is clothes. So I'm going to go back over here to the clothes button and click the check. And there he is. Looking pretty good, I must say. Now, we could make the head bigger, right? And then you got kind of like a fun, cartoony, Frankenstein-inspired but not copyright infringing monster, or you can shrink it right back down. And I think I kind of like that right now. I'm going to move his arms down a tiny bit. Remember, you can just keep adjusting this all you want. Move the arm. Look at the. That's nice. That's nice. He's got good proportions, just like all fine monsters. I think we're done. Oh, except for the skin. Now, if you look, you see these little flecks in here? That's kind of like a flecked fur pattern, and that's the most subtle aspect of MeMakeMonster.com. So I'm going to change that. Right now, there we have a nothing. And I'm going to just check out a couple. That's like a scale pattern, and there's a more furry pattern right there. It's like V shapes, and there's like a pattern. If you take the clothes off for a second, you can see it's these little dots, and it makes him look like he's got kind of like a little bit of a grit or like freckles on his skin. It just makes it look a little more real. So keep that in mind when you're making your monster. I'm going to turn the clothes back on, but you can just see just a few little dots around here to make it a little more interesting. We have the name. I think we're there. I'm going to hit the save button. And you just wait a second. It says saving your monster. Please wait. Thank you, program, for telling us that. Ooh, look at that. And then right here it says preparing your product selection. You have to be patient. And what you do at this point is you start to think of all the things that you could put the creature on. And you could put it on a t-shirt, a canvas bag, a mug, a baseball cap. So I think we're going to try probably what most of the MeMakeMonster users in the world have done so far, and that's the t-shirt. So we're going to click on the t-shirt right here, and it brings up a new window, and that window goes to Zazzle.com. Now that's where the actual shirt is created, and your monster, exactly as you set it up, is imposed. Kids, that means just plopped right on there onto the shirt. Now look, it starts out with a plain white shirt. You got this guy here, you can't even see his face, but what you can do is like you're like, oh, I'm a kid. Well, go right over here, okay? I mean, you might not have your parents' credit card information, but you could help them out a little, and you just pick the kid option, right? And then you can scroll through and see all your favorite shirts. Now, I don't know, I was born in 1970, so that means I like ringers. I didn't even know what they were called back then, but I'm gonna pick a ringer, okay? And you got a ringer, and it's like rings right here. Did you get it? It's the ring is this part, and then around the sleeves as well. Look at that, you got your monster there. Maybe you want to make it a little bigger. You can probably do that. Just be careful, make sure nothing gets cut off. It's what you see is what you get. You can even click design and get a close-up view. You know what? That tells me we can go a little bit bigger, can't we? Right there, and then maybe a tiny bit up. See, you got fine-tuning controls right here. And then we're going to go back to product, and we're going to say, yep, that's what I want. I want the creature shirt. It's the shirt is sized up for a kid. It's a classic ringer, and it's this much dollars and this much cents. And you can say add it to cart, and then you got your the creature shirt. Pretty cool, huh?